This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, how are you? This is Alex. You see, it says the Ramble. That's me and the Ramble. And we go until midnight tonight, and here we are. Hello, all of you. How are you? Good to see you. I'm looking over at my picture over there, and I should be looking directly at you. Okay. Let me see here. I got to get somebody ready here. There we go. I'll let that bubble a little bit here, and let me see. Oh, he's not even there yet. As I live and breathe. Where is he? What happened to him? He's just. Well, I'll show you, folks. He's just not there. There. Oh, there he is. There he is. You got to turn the can't hear you. There we go. Let me see here. Okay. All right.
I'm here.
You there? Are you there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure you could hear me.
You know, I thought I had more time to pee. But
at our age, you need a lot of time to pee.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's often. Hey,
Well, I've been having this pain when I urinate lately.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I think that's from all the work they did on me a couple of years ago. It's kind of coming back to.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But I got a trip offer here from the Commonwealth Club.
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine on two bowls of borscht a day, and you get a book by Rick Jeeves. How to Travel Light.
It's not funny, Phil.
All right.
Not funny. Not funny.
Not funny. You ain't got no sense of humor.
No, it's not a question of a sense of humor. It's just every time I turn on the TV and I see these people in the Ukraine, I start crying.
It's awful, isn't it?
It's just disgusting. It's vile and it's horrible.
And you know what? I funded the Russians today.
How's that?
You
filled up your gas. You pumped gas.
$6 a gallon for regular.
Yeah, well, that's not going to the Russians anymore, thank God. Although there might still be some Russian oil there.
Yeah.
We don't really, in the United States, we didn't rely on Russian oil that much. Okay.
7%, something like that. But, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And the Russians are talking about, well, look, if we can't use banks around the world, we're going to use cryptocurrency.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they know what the hell cryptocurrency is, because I don't.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they can go to. I mean, that's the horrible thing about crypto, is that people who want to use the money for nefarious means can use the money and have a place to put it.
Yeah. When you filed your taxes, did they ask if you had any cryptocurrency?
No.
Well, they did to me.
Well, they probably did to me too, but I don't fill out my own taxes.
Oh. And I know that people made money. I think it's a Ponzi scheme, but and some people made a lot of money with this crypto. Mm-hmm. But I think that it's going to be going for nefarious reasons. It's going to allow the Russians to try to usurp our sanctions. But 1 minute we're sending them planes to Poland, and then how many Poles does it take to screw in a plane?
See, I mean, you can't make jokes about the Poles anymore. They've been acting awfully nice in this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really they've actually come up to the plate on this one.
Yeah. Well, they're giving some Soviet MiGs, and they want to exchange for our F-16s. So, MiG to the Ukrainians, because they know how to fly those.
Yeah, that's the reason why.
They still have propellers, those MiGs.
No,
they have propellers.
No, they don't.
But,
No, they learned how to fly MiGs because basically they were part of Russia at one point.
Yeah.
So they have all those planes sitting around. But I mean, it's just horrible what's going on there.
what we need to give them is some drones.
Yeah. The question is how we get them to them.
Well, most of the hackers were coming out of the Ukraine. They know how to get them.
The hackers weren't coming out of the Ukraine. They were coming out of Russia.
Yeah, sure. That's just Russian disinformation.
Yeah, you want to believe your boy Trump.
Well, he doesn't use the internet.
Huh? He isn't allowed to use it.
That's for sure. If he says anything, they just throw him off the platform.
He isn't allowed to use it. Yeah.
He's got his own platform. I think it's called Truth.
Yeah, he can't get it up and running though. That's the problem.
Neither can I.
Did you try to get on there?
No. I was talking about sex.
Okay.
But, it's. I'm trying to make light of what's going on, but
there are no jokes here.
I don't know how much longer the Ukrainians can hold out.
I think there are people who believe that they can hold out for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. That if nothing more, there will be a government kind of not in exile, but in a certain province of the country.
Yeah.
That will still continue.
Well, the way Putin handles things is that government will be drugged and summarily murdered. I mean, all they do is they hit them with a needle. You saw what they did to any dissidents.
Dissidents.
Yeah, dissidents.
Dissidents sounds like some kind of, I don't know, powder you put on something.
Yeah, well, it's a disinfectant. You take baking soda and what do they call it? Polygrip, and you put it together. But
right.
Anyway, I don't think now Putin, supposedly there are labs in the Ukraine that are experimenting with biological weapons and biological things. Can you imagine if he unleashes that?
Well, they think he will. They think if he gets frustrated enough, and he's getting to that point. I mean, he doesn't like to lose.
No.
And in Syria, he unleashed biological weapons.
Right. I said it was that it was Saddam Hussein on an earlier show that Trump bombed, but it wasn't. It was in Syria. Trump reacted to the biological weapons that were, and he sent 51 Tomahawk missiles to an air site where they supposedly had launched these missiles, supposedly had launched the biological weapons.
Speaking of your boy, I just got a list of things here the other day that I didn't ever see it laid out like this.
Was that his accomplishments, or
you might call these his accomplishments, but nobody else's. Trump, they say here, made it abundantly clear during his 4 years in the White House that he absolutely loves himself a good dictator.
Well,
would you agree with that?
That's better than the bad dictator.
Well, no. Would you agree with that?
Well, that he loved a good dictator.
Yeah.
I think that he communicated with the guy from North Korea.
Well, here we go. Here's the list. Telling reporters he believed Russia didn't interfere in the 2016 election because Vladimir Putin told him so, despite U.S. intelligence agencies saying otherwise. Okay.
Who is it that was appointed to look into the corruption of the 2016 election as well as Russian interference? Didn't
I'm trying to remember his name.
Wasn't that an independent investigator? They spent $25 million investigating that, and they came up with the fact that
every side was disappointed in him by the time it came out.
Yeah, well, but there was no Russian interference.
Well, no, he didn't say that. He said that he didn't have proof of it, but that there could have well been. Okay.
Well, hey, I don't have proof that that the world is flat, but it could have been.
Here's another pal of Trump, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Said he had nothing to do with
the guy that carved up the Turkish news reporter.
No, that's
right?
the guy who had him carved up.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He said he had nothing to do with the murder and dismemberment of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi, despite the CIA concluding that the Crown Prince ordered the hit.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's two dictators he loves. Okay. Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Taking Kim Jong-un's word that he didn't know about the year-long imprisonment of American student Otto Warmbier, who died a few days after being sent back to the United States. Inviting sadistic, I can't talk tonight. I'm going home. Wait, I am home.
You don't have far to go.
Hosting, inviting sadistic strongman Rodrigo Duterte to swing by the White House and applauding the Philippines president for doing an unbelievable job on the drug problem.
He did. If you have drugs, you die.
But he is a strong man. Hosting Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi.
Is that the president of Egypt?
Yeah. Who once oversaw the killing of more than 800 protesters in a single day and telling reporters Sisi was doing fantastic work.
Yeah.
And praising Turkey's Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who is known for going after dissenters like a 16-year-old who allegedly insulted him, and a former Miss Turkey who posted a satirical poem about him on social media. So those are some of the people he thinks are wonderful.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We have our president asking Saudi Arabia, the guy who carved up Khashoggi, to pump more oil.
Yep.
We have him going to Venezuela to talk to Maduro and begging him for more oil. Now, Maduro is starving his people. He's killing people left and right.
Yeah.
People are eating out of dumpsters, and he wants to buy fuel from Venezuela. As far as I'm concerned, I would rather walk than buy fuel from Venezuela.
Well, and you'll be walking.
Well, as long as I can pay the $6. But a guy who works for me today said, you better fuel up tonight, even if you only need a half a tank. He says, because tomorrow it's going to be more. And I think it's going to be $7.50, $8 out here.
Really?
Yeah. Well, premium, which thank God this car doesn't have to use, is $6.29.
It's getting up there around the price of cocaine, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just as addictive, I might add.
Yeah, well, driving a car nowadays is God's way of telling you you're making too much money.
Yeah, yeah. Old Robin Williams line about coke.
Yeah.
Cocaine usage is saying that you're making way too much more money. I can't talk tonight. Yeah. I'm in terrible shape. Just in terrible shape.
What's going on?
I don't know. I'm,
What's the weather in New York? I thought the storms were coming.
Well, it snowed today.
It snowed.
Finally, he had to wait till March to get snow.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the temperature is here, but I didn't wear a jacket today. It was extremely pleasant. Mm-hmm. So let me look. Entertainment, and then I go to weather.
And here's Phil with the weather.
Yeah, Walnut Creek, 55 degrees right now. And that's not bad.
Well, it's 36 degrees here.
Yeah,
right now
at this time of day.
But yeah, the other day it was like 74, I think.
Yeah,
74. Yeah, really nice.
Well, it's minus 20 in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And they have no power plants. They've no electricity, no water. People are drinking from puddles. This is just not. It's just not okay.
Well, I don't know. I'm of the feeling that we go in and under humanitarian circumstances, humanitarian need, okay? And we do what we got to do, whether it's no-fly zone or go in there with guns blazing or whatever, but let's save those people. And people are going, well, that's going to start World War III. Everybody's so afraid of World War III, and they don't realize they've been fighting it in sections already. Yeah. You know? I mean, you know, World War 2.4 was Vietnam, World War 2.6 was, whatever. Let's not forget that we've been at war at one place or another for the longest time, and I don't think that backed into that kind of corner, Putin's going to pull out the nuclear weapons. And if he does, he's dust. He's just dust.
So is everybody else.
No, it isn't mutually. We have many more nuclear weapons.
How many does it take to, ruin your day?
All he has to do is send one up, and by the way, we can probably shoot it down before it gets anywhere.
Doesn't he have those hypersonic nuclear weapons?
I don't know if he does or he doesn't. But all I'm saying is, we can't let this man bully us and bully Ukraine and get away with it. I mean, if you don't stop him now, he's going to try for another country next.
Well, absolutely. I think that.
And when people say, "Well, he can't be beaten," ask him about some people that were called the Afghans that went up against him.
Yeah, but they beat everybody.
No, but I mean, he went in, he tried to take over, and what's his name? The big bad guy, Bin Laden.
Yeah.
Literally, he and the Mujahideen, I think it was called, threw him out of the country. They couldn't take it.
Weren't there a couple of invaders in Afghanistan that came in on elephants and?
No, that you're thinking about Hannibal.
Hannibal.
Well, Hannibal. That was Europe.
Oh, he didn't go to Afghanistan.
No.
Oh. No. I thought the mountains, prevented him from being able to attack that area.
No, but I think he tried to attack Europe, if I'm not mistaken.
The stuff that's going on is tantamount. We don't know about concentration camps, and I doubt that there are any, except for Siberia and the people that are not agreeing with Putin or saying negative things about Putin. I'm sure they're going to Siberia, but this is like Hitler. This, and we, the world, is allowing him to march through. They marched through Crimea. Those people, gave up with pretty much without a fight. Mm-hmm. But the Ukrainians are fighting back, and I can tell you this: that next to Ukraine is Poland, and you have the
only problem with Poland is if he goes after Poland, that's a NATO nation.
I don't know that NATO is going to do anything.
Believe me, he tries to do anything to a NATO country, that's it. He's bet on something different and bad.
Well, that's what we say, but we're not doing anything. Really. Biden, for instance, the Pentagon said that they don't want to do the plane deal with the Polish.
No, that's not what they said at all. What they said was they didn't want to do the deal where they would send them to Germany, and then from Germany they would go into. They want them to go from Poland directly into the Ukraine.
Okay, this is 1 hour ago. Mm-hmm. Pentagon says Poland's offer to send fighter jets for Ukraine is not tenable.
Yeah, but it's the way in which they wanted to do it, which was send it to Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany, and then from there they would somehow fly them into Ukraine. So Poland would send them to Ramstein. Ramstein would send them to Ukraine, and our president didn't find that acceptable because he figured it was fraught with all kinds of problems. That what they want is for Poland to directly take them to,
Right. But
Ukraine.
our president is afraid that Russia will retaliate.
Fuck it.
For
Fuck it.
our interference.
So they retaliate. Okay? I think it's time we stood up to this guy.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that if it means that we're going to be in some kind of conflagration, then so be it. But quite frankly, I think that already he's doing dangerous things like playing around with those nuclear plants, and he put a dent in Chernobyl. I mean, what's with this guy? He says, well, we're not attacking civilians, and then tonight they showed entire neighborhoods wiped out by his
What about the hospital where women and
listen? You know what he's telling his people inside Russia? That the war's going great, but they're being met with certain resistance where the locals are using children as camouflage. And
he says that he's fighting Nazis. That they're going in to fight Nazis. But I think people are they're aware, they're getting enough news to know that he's not telling them the truth. But the Americans are making Russia part of the negotiation with Iran to get them into this nuclear peace deal. And supposedly Iran is supposed to give their nuclear stuff to Russia, and Russia is supposed to hang on to it. That's like giving the keys to the hen house to the fox. And if Iran gets a nuclear bomb,
very good, Phil.
Yeah,
we made a step. We've made a step towards intelligence here. What?
It's spelled nuclear, but I like nuclear. It's no nukes. But I see them using it on Israel, and I know you're not the greatest fan of Israel, but they are a peaceful nation that is, a lot of their people are living in peace. They're a modern country, and they're in the UN.
But
the UN.
I don't believe Israel has come down against Russia in this whole deal.
I don't think so.
No?
I thought Russia was a negative towards Israel.
That I don't know, but all I know is they've been very, I think, quiet to, like India has refused to vote against Russia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another nuclear power.
Yes, right.
Of
course, their bomb goes off. It smells like curry.
Yeah.
So
China and Russia have an agreement, and China said that they would support Russia, and it's just a matter of months until China makes a move on Taiwan, and and that may involve the U.S. and it may involve the U.S. on two fronts.
I think China has a lot more to lose by doing that. I mean, there's something to be said about them still caring about making a buck.
Yeah. Now you have some acquaintances that work for a Chinese bank, and have they said what their thoughts were on what's going on in the China Sea?
No, because the people my wife works with, they're living here in America, and most of them aren't even Chinese. Most of them are like German and Austrian and things like that, from other countries. So,
things aren't looking very good around the world, and I think it's time that America realize that we have a place in the world, and that we can see the freedom that the Ukrainians are fighting for. We should be proud of them. That they make us look weak.
You know what made me really like what's his name, the
comedian,
the comedian, the Ukrainian president,
Voldemar. Even with a name like Voldemar, you'd think he's a magician.
No, you'd think he was like out of Harry Potter. Voldemort, Walensky. He in his speech for his inaugural before the Parliament said, the one thing I don't want you to do not put my pictures up in post offices and in government places and so on and so forth. He says, I'm not a hero. I don't deserve to have my picture anywhere. You know.
Right.
You
But
know,
if you do put it up, I want you to buy it from my agent.
No. But he just said, I don't want you to put.
Well,
yeah, I thought that was really nice. You
he
know.
spoke. Yeah, absolutely. He spoke to. He's not a dictator. He spoke to the British Parliament.
Oh, it's a wonderful speech. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Wonderful speech. Terrible translator.
Probably, but they were comparing it to powerful speeches like FDR's Churchill.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because he was kind of paraphrasing Churchill in the speech to kind of get the British people on his side, you know.
Yeah, and there are Canadian fighters that have gone. There's actually, they said, a battalion size group of Canadians.
They're Americans. They're American soldiers who are going over there.
There's American soldiers as well. There's a guy I watch on YouTube. His name is James Yeager, and I guess he was an American soldier. And currently, he has Lou Gehrig's disease, just the beginning of it, ALS, and he's on his way there now.
Really?
Yeah. He was teaching a firearms instructor, and he's on his way right now. He had a live stream saying, "Hey, these are the things I'm packing. This is what I'm taking," and there are some brave people out there going and helping.
Yeah.
Even China had American fighters against Japan. It was what do they call those guys? The Flying Tigers. And a friend of mine's dad was a Flying Tiger, and he got paid so much. They were like mercenaries, and so he would fly, and I guess they got paid based on how many planes they shot down with Japanese planes.
Right. So anyway, I'm trying to see here. I got a problem here tonight with audio on one of my things, and I can't understand what the problem is. Oh well,
Let's see. Tightening financial conditions sound alarm for world economy. I think. Another thing. Capitol report: Russia underestimates Ukraine fight. That we knew.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mexico suspends 5 over soccer match brawl.
Yeah.
Date night can be inexpensive and fun. These are the headlines.
Date night can be fun.
Yeah, inexpensive and fun. I can't stand listening to them, let alone taking them out on a date anymore.
Really?
Dating is over.
Dating is over for you?
Yeah.
You're through with it, are you?
Yeah. I take Faye to dinner, but that's about it.
Yeah. Wow. No, I can't figure out why I'm not getting audio into this other program, which I use as a backup.
Well, as long as the main program.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I just did it. Okay. All righty. Okay. There we go. Okay. Anyway, so it's one thing or another, right? I come in here on a Wednesday, and it's like I had to start everything all over again.
I'm finding I have to reboot my computer every couple of days just because I'm losing the wireless internet.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Not only reboot the computer, but reboot the network, the modem. I think it's going through the wall, and because of that, the signal is getting weaker. That 5G signal.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, you want to stick around?
Sure.
Please, because I'm so out of it, I could use the help.
Okay. I'm a lot of help.
Let me bring in. There are just 2 people waiting here. There's Charlie Wallace, and there is Brian Neary. He is here as well. Yeah. Wait a minute.
Loyal listeners and callers.
Huh?
The loyal listeners and callers. You can always depend on Charlie for the COVID news.
Well, yeah, but I can't count on Charlie all the time because he's out doing his baseball thing.
Yeah.
But I realize he has to do that. So
now, isn't there a strike going on with baseball? Or there's
Major League Baseball.
Major League, yeah. Well, you're a Major League guy.
Killing our game.
Yeah.
They want. They're making all these changes to it, and it's just getting ridiculous.
They're going to make them use a ball and a bat now?
No, they're making the bases bigger. They want
That was true. Wow.
They want to make the bases bigger. They want a no shift rule, so they can't do the shift, which I don't care about that much.
What's the shift?
So they'll use analytics. So if they know that you like to hit it in the right field, 80% of the time, they're going to shift their whole outfield over. So they use analytics to shift their teams, which I don't really care about. But changing the bases, they want to do the ticker on the pitcher, but they keep saying that they wanted to do the batter couldn't get out of the batter's box unless he called a timeout and all this stuff, and now they still take 10 minutes between every pitch. So just
yeah, they do.
You talking about
bases bigger though? You start changing steal records, you start changing all those things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, baseball, one big asterisk.
Yeah, and I hate the designated hitter and when I was a kid, when I was a boy.
when I was a boy, we just played baseball. Now yours is yours baseball, Charlie, or softball?
It's softball.
Softball. Yeah.
We used to use a stoop. You know, where the brownstone was. You know, you hit the ball against the stoop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? That was
stickball.
We did that sometimes too when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. Kids kids in New York, I was always jealous that I was never a kid in New York. You know, because you guys, you know, you had your baseball teams in your neighborhood, and you know, it was just there were things you did like playing stickball. You know,
yeah, stickball was
now
fun.
I'm not much of a sports guy, but I think I would have played stickball.
Yeah, you know, it was. You didn't have a baseball field.
Yeah, so you played in the street.
Right, exactly.
But I don't think they have that anymore. You know, I don't think parents would let their kids play in the street.
You know, I remember I was thinking about it. I remember going trick or treating when you could eat the unwrapped candy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, no. Parents are very protective of their kids these days, as well they should be, right, Brian?
Yeah, but the kids don't even want to go outside anymore. Adrian wants to go outside. She loves going outside, but the other kids, it's like they'd rather be grounded than go outside. It's like death.
Take away their computer. And
why don't they like to be outside? What's the reason for that?
What was that?
What was the reason for that? For not liking to go outside?
I don't know.
You don't know, okay?
I would say
because when I was a kid, I used to climb all over the hillsides in Marin County, you know, and I was, you know, I was under 10 when I was doing that. My parents just went, be home by dinner, you know. But today, I don't think a parent would let you do that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, 7 years old, we used to walk 2 miles to the nearest park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go play in the park by yourself.
I rode my bicycle all over the place, you know, and my parents didn't know where I was. I'm out, you know, I'm going over to a friend's house to play. And it was different also back east. When you went over to a friend's house, you just showed up. Now maybe that's why nobody liked me, but you know, you just showed up. Oh, Phil's here. You know, put another thing on. Or but in the West Coast, you got to make reservations. You know, is it okay if Phil has a play date?
Yeah, they have play dates.
Has a condom.
Yeah, I just, you know, like also when I was a kid, the dog, just let the dog out. He'd go out, come back, you know, about 5 hours later. Tail between his legs, dog tired, as it were, and he'd have some dinner and he'd go to sleep. Yeah. And our cat would go out the back window and go away for maybe a day or so looking for stuff to do, and then come right back in. We'd hear him hit the back window that he'd climb in on, and we go, oh, there's Sylvester was his name. There's Sylvester. Later on, it was Mao, because it was a Siamese. But I mean, so pretty much, I was in the same league with the dog and the cat. You know, just make sure you're home by dinner.
Yeah, that was it. Be home by dinner.
Yeah, it was a different time. Kids weren't getting sold into slavery, and you know, and their body parts.
They wanted change back for their dime when they tried to sell you into slavery.
Oh, well, you know, my father went to a tough high school in Brooklyn. It was called Boys High. It was the Polytechnic school.
I've heard of that school. Yeah, I've heard of that school.
Yeah, and he said that when you got thrown out of the other schools, you ended up at Boys High. And he says the tough guys used to charge a dime to get across the street. Well, excuse me, I messed up the joke. It was a nickel to get across the street, and he used to charge the tough guys a dime to get back. So, you know, that's...
Okay, all right.
If you wouldn't have said it was a joke, it was a better story.
Yeah, well, you know, it was a story, but I blew the line.
Yeah, I grew up in Redwood City Hills in the peninsula, and yeah, we lived up on top of the hill. Either you had a mini bike or you had a horse, and we'd just be gone in the morning and come back at night.
Okay, I want to talk about what?
He was doing dressage.
Anyway, I want to ask this question of each of you, because I bet there's a different answer. What can we call it? I'm so out of it tonight.
East Coast, West Coast?
East Coast, West Coast, gasoline prices. I'll bet the cheapest gas price we're going to hear tonight is from Charlie.
Yep.
Okay. So first, let's start with Phil. How much do you pay for? Do you pay for gas today?
Yeah.
How much?
I filled up this afternoon, and it was $5.99 a gallon for regular. Super was $6.29, and that's, you know, a high tier gas station. It was Chevron. Yeah, I usually
and you're in Contra Costa County,
right?
Okay. Now, Brian is in Lodi. Well, no, you're not in Lodi.
I'm in San Jose.
San Jose.
Lodi's a little bit cheaper, but San Jose, and there's like two really, really inexpensive gas stations. So I plan my stuff. So even if I have like a quarter tank, I'll still go there. So that one was $5.98. Sorry, $5.89.
Okay, a little bit cheaper.
But there are like lines coming up there. I drove by after Adra's dance, and there's a long line going.
For a dime?
I haven't got gas in a week, and I paid $4.85 a week ago.
Yeah, well, wait till tomorrow.
It's gone up a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to look on Gas Buddy and see what it is.
Oh, he's got that stupid Gas Buddy. Oh.
Yeah, there was one down the street that's like a nice digital sign
have it too.
on the way home, and I saw that thing, and it was under $5 because I said I wasn't paying over $5. And it went to $5.01, then it went to $5.21, then it went up to $6, $6.21, and now it's back to $6.01.
Now
you ought to come here to buy your gas. The Chevron station, the 76 station I go to has got regular if you're paying cash for $5.49 a gallon, and then the Chevron around the corner from it is 20 cents more. It's $5.69 again.
And that's if you pay cash. This is the new thing.
Yeah, in Fremont.
Money, that's why.
Who uses regular anymore? Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
all right.
But it's a
All right.
Toyota.
Drives up
So,
to the cheapest station in town in a McLaren.
Tony, do you own?
Yeah.
Do you,
Yes.
Oh, I don't drive,
Yes, I
but
do.
my brother drives, and we just went.
Your mother drives? No, she doesn't anymore.
No, I'm sorry.
Brother.
You know why I said my mother? It was her birthday the other day. We had a cake for her. But anyway.
Did she eat it?
No, my sister came up, but we like to say she's no longer with us. But anyway, my brother went to fill up.
You know why? Because she is no longer with you.
I know.
Anyway, go ahead.
I think it was right over here, Middle Village. I think it was like $4.50. I could be wrong. It's like $4.50.
Do you have a car?
No, I drive. I don't drive, but I have my dad's car if I wanted to. My brother has a car. He uses it. We put the dogs in my dad's car now to the vet because it's easier.
Okay. Anyway,
Has no concept what owning a car is like.
yeah.
That's why.
Well, how about you, Charlie? Now he's in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last
Lots
night
of
driving back from softball,
yeah.
I saw $4.09 a gallon. First time I've ever seen it over $4 a gallon.
But aren't you all jealous?
But come on, these are you know, it really pissed me off when they were going up to $5, and I pay Supreme. Okay, so, but then they said, oh, it's going to be $7, and maybe it's going to be $8. It just gave these gas places like a free ticket. Aren't these guys billionaires? Not the gas owners, but aren't these Chevron and all those? Aren't those like billionaires who are running those? So how can they say this is all because of this gas and this bullshit?
It's not. They're
how much of it? How much of it is tax? You know, they were talking temporarily about suspending the federal tax, which I don't know.
It's only about 19 cents.
Yeah, it's not that much.
Well, I thought all the taxes add up to about 70 cents.
California.
Yeah. So, you know, if they would, you know, at least that would help. And then if I believe we have some reserves, some serious amount of reserves.
6 months, they're saying.
That can be opened up. But Europe, their gas was always expensive, and it's going to get even worse. And that's going to start crippling the rest of the world.
So California, state of California gasoline tax is 51.1 cents a gallon.
That's California.
Yeah, not.
And then you add in the federal, which I think is 19 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're close to $1.
Yeah.
70. Yeah.
I just want to point out that the price of wind energy and social energy has not gone up 1 penny during this whole time.
Absolutely, zero.
In fact, it actually got cheaper during the Trump administration because of all of his hot air.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess
I didn't even bring it up, Phil.
Now, Brian, doesn't your car need rocket fuel?
Only on track day. No, but I don't drive it that much.
No,
not now. No, but you know, when I go to Lodi, I plan my gas stuff. So when I go to Lodi, I need gas. I fill up, and then my company pays me back. So
yeah, you don't want to take the Tesla.
Yeah, I was talking.
I want to.
I was talking to Bubs about his car because he has a big.
He's got a Toyota Camry.
But still, it's you know, I thought that was a big guzzling monster, and he says he's getting about 25 gallons to the mile, or 25 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, it's like a 1990 Toyota. What is it? Camry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So gas taxes total in California right now are $1.18 per gallon.
Wow.
California federal sales tax, everything.
What do you think this is going to? How do you think this is going to affect the electric cars?
Well, I think they're pushing that there's the Green New Deal, and they are before the Russian war. This kind of thing, they wanted to get people out of gasoline cars, so they started to import oil. The prices started to go up, and this was helping the progressives to get people out of their cars and start buying Teslas and things like that, and electric cars. But the electric cars in the long run end up costing almost as much to charge and use as a gasoline car.
No.
I think it's going to be the availability.
I think you're wrong there.
Time to drink,
No,
guys.
you're completely. Everybody have a drink.
I read an article, about the coal-fired plants, nuclear plants, and other types of plants.
Do you notice everybody's drinking, Phil?
Yeah. Well,
You notice his lips are still moving?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you if you want to say, hey, electricity isn't cheap, but it's much cheaper than gas.
Well, because I've had this thing where I kind of like the idea of those hydrogen vehicles from a clean air standpoint, but there's only 19 hydrogen places to fuel up, and I'd use the tank of fuel to get to the gas station or to the hydrogen station and get back, and I would never be able to.
I guess I'd get to see you more often. There's a Chevron with a hydrogen thing about a mile from me.
Yeah,
It's
there's
always
one in
got a
San
long
Ramon.
line.
Yeah, I think the closest one to me is San Ramon, and that's
How cheap
19
is
miles.
hydrogen?
Yeah, hydrogen.
But how cheap is it?
I don't think it's that cheap.
I don't know. They're starting
Oh.
to use them in the.
Okay, so wouldn't electric be cheaper?
Depends on what part of the country you're charging.
Okay,
the
wait a
vehicle.
minute. Hold on a second. We have somebody here who has a Tesla,
Yeah.
right? How much do you figure in electric does that cost you a month?
He's got an electric cord running to his neighbor's house.
Almost. Actually, our company has a card that we can use, and we get free charges. So.
Doesn't Tesla give you a couple of years of free charging?
Yeah. Some of them do. Yeah.
But you have to go to their pumps.
The Tesla superchargers. Yeah. So
And-
we've been
and-
doing
and
that, but then also, like I said, work has charging stations at each building, and so she has a card, so she just goes there and charges whenever. So.
Well, the hydrogen.
Charger at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
The hydrogen fuel cell things, they give, when you buy one of those cars like the Mirai, or there's another one starts with an N by another company, when you buy those, they give you a couple of years worth of hydrogen fill-ups, like $1,500 a year for 2 years. So they subsidize them.
Yeah, Charlie?
Every park in Austin has free charging stations. If you got an electric car, you can charge your car for free while you're playing softball or whatever.
Okay, but now let me ask Brian, do you ever charge it at home
Yeah, and I haven't seen any change.
in your electric bill?
Yeah.
I guess your cost more than gas theory just went down.
Okay,
the toilet.
now let me wait a minute. Let me take it another step further with Brian. Do you have a fast charger?
No. Yeah. So we have the charger. It goes in the regular wall, the 110. We just got the one hooked up when we did construction. That's like almost like the washer and dryer, the dryer one.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's an 8-hour charge. And we've only used it a few times, but still haven't seen any change.
But you can plug it in at night, go to sleep, and the
and
next
it's
morning
fully charged in the morning.
good
now.
to go. Yeah. Okay. Good. So
Yeah.
it's becoming. And how many miles do you get on a single charge?
300, over 300.
Okay. Well, I'll buy that. That's reasonable.
But she drives it.
You
She
don't have to
drives
wait
it,
in
and
any
she's just
long
going back
line.
and forth to work. So, and she hits traffic and stuff. But that's perfect. She has a half-hour commute to work every day, and that works perfect for her. She never has to pay for gas. Now we're gonna go when we go on our cruise in a couple months. We're gonna drive down to LA, and they have a thing. You plan ahead. You tell them where you're going, and it'll tell you different spots on the route. So we're gonna leave early in the morning, like I like doing. And then we'll go to breakfast somewhere, and we get to pick any place we want to stop, and they'll have a supercharger there that we can charge, and then we'll be able to make it the way home.
Good.
Or the way to where we're going.
Good. Sounds terrific.
Yeah.
The internet sucks. I'm trying to. There's a thing. It says compare quotes from top-rated electrical wiring and panel services for automobiles. And that's the headline. And then what it does is it takes you to homeadvisor.com. It redirects you to, you want to build a deck? No, I want to know the rate of how much it costs to charge an electric vehicle. And but you can't find anything anymore. Have you noticed that the commercials, if you click on a not an ad, but if you click on a story, a news story, the commercials are really invasive. They overlay the news story, and you can't get rid of them. Looks like Alan wants to say something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're muted, Alan.
Oh, there's it says work on your thing.
Well, it's a lot of work to get on this.
You're muted, Alan.
But
Don't tell them.
I know the face, but I don't remember the
There
name.
you go.
Sorry, I was.
Work.
Is that the guy that takes the bath?
I work.
Right.
Go to Tesla.com. They have a chart there. Imagine that.
Sorry, I'm on my work profile.
so-
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
The Tesla Model 3 to go 200 miles costs about $15, and it's about $17 to charge the Model X, which is that high-end car.
Yes, but how much
200 miles.
But is that being subsidized because the
No.
cost of electricity is
I don't know.
Well, here's the hint. Put in solar in your house.
I was gonna say, if you put in solar, it's free.
Or if you run a cord over your neighbor's yard.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
Hey, if
right.
Brian puts in solar, every day will be cloudy.
Now, work. What's your name again? I'm sorry, Matt. Of
Matt.
course. Matt.
Sorry, I'm on my
Just
work
like
profile.
it says on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
on the
yeah.
box.
This is
I
this
just
Matt
changed it.
up in Seattle, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I heard you talking oil. so I
What are you
thought I would
doing?
chime in.
Working out while we're doing the show?
This is my home gym.
And what do you have in your home gym?
Not a whole lot. I just have some free weights.
Oh, I see. Because if you had
Yeah.
if you had a treadmill and then you had a Tesla, you could probably power your Tesla while working out.
You just get a hamster.
Yeah, yeah.
So the price of gas here in the upper northwest is about $4.80.
$4.80. Okay, so again, Phil, how much again? $4.99.
Regular today, $5.99.
$5.99.9. And Charlie.
$5.89 for super.
Okay,
so
and
regular is about $5.50 a gallon.
and up there in the Great Northwest is
$4.80.
$4.80. Okay, and of course where Charlie is, it's 3 cents a gallon.
$4.99.
Well, they don't even have sales tax where Charlie is.
I mentioned this.
No, we do have sales tax.
I've mentioned this before.
do?
I remember.
Yeah, we don't have income tax.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No state income tax.
I remember it.
Sales tax is high.
When I was a boy, I remember it at 9 cents a
15
gallon.
cents?
9 cents a
Yeah.
gallon. When they had
Really?
a price, they had a
I
price war.
remember-
They had a price
I
war, and it
remember-
was 9 cents.
17 cents. And
Well, I remember 19 cents as being the average. It was that for years. Any gas station would go to 19 cents. 19
it was like
cents.
the mid 60s.
But what happened was there was a thing they did every now and then called a price war, in which one gas company would go up against another gas company, and they would lower their prices. And every time you'd see one gas station lower it a penny, another one would lower it a penny. And at one point, it got down to 9 cents a gallon.
But back in those days, there was a company called Aramco, and they were in Saudi Arabia, American company. It got thrown out, and I believe that the barrel of oil was $3.50 or right around there back in the 60s. Now, what are we reaching? $100 a barrel right now?
113, I think.
It's
something
over
like that.
100 now, yeah.
Yeah.
It says 110 online right now.
Wow. So, yeah, I think, when I was a kid, it was like $3 and change a barrel. And we had 19 to 25 cent a gallon gas.
You can fill up your car for $2.
It's gonna go up.
Then I remember it
bill.
rose up to about 10 years. In the first 10 years of my driving, it went from 19 cents to 29 cents.
The House just passed a bipartisan bill to ban Russia oil. Now it's going to cost next week. It's going to be $8 a gallon in the Bay Area.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But that's okay because that way we don't have to go over there and do a fly zone.
Yeah.
We can just screw them over
Well,
by not buying their oil.
here-
But China will buy it.
Here we've got
That's
Jeff.
okay, as long as our prices go up, I'm okay with that.
Here we've got Jeff. Jeff, you're still down in Georgia, are you?
Florida, huh?
Florida.
No, he was in.
You're muted, Jeff. You're muted.
You're
Just,
muted, Jeff.
Unmute.
You're muted, Jeff.
Don't tell them.
Yeah. There you go. Where are you, in Georgia?
Georgia.
Yeah.
That's great, Charlie.
Georgia, you're in Georgia.
This
Okay,
is
so-
Pam's sister's.
Okay, so obviously because you're driving, right?
Yeah,
You're paying for gas.
Paying gas.
that's right.
That's a
What was
big
it when you
bargain,
left
man.
Florida?
Nice
How
big
much was it when you
bargain.
left Florida?
$4.10.
Okay. Have you bought any gas since then?
Oh yeah,
Okay. When did you buy it last?
just today or
Okay.
yesterday.
And how much was it now in Georgia?
Well, in Georgia, it's not so bad. It's like $4.10.
Oh, it's like 410 like in Florida?
Right.
Oh.
But Florida it was $5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
That's because you're a Democrat. They know. They changed the price on the pump. you remember Sunoco, where you could dial which octane you wanted? Do you think they were all the same octane? You just paid more if you moved the dial?
Well, I remember now. Do you remember these days, folks? Do you remember ethyl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It later became
Mertz,
premium.
Ethel Mertz.
Yeah.
it was Ethel and regular.
Lucy. Yeah.
My mother looked that show. I guess
Isn't it ethanol?
California.
Isn't it ethanol?
Ethyl.
No,
it was called ethyl.
Just ethyl?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember white gas?
No.
Yeah, well, it was privileged, but it was white gas didn't have something in it. Let me Google what white gas is.
And you had leaded and unleaded, and I could never tell what the difference
This is
was.
when everything was leaded.
This is before there was unleaded. There was
Everything was leaded then.
White gas is Phil after Taco Bell.
Yeah. I'll take the burrito.
Somebody, one of Phil's friends, sent me the average fart leaves your ass at 7 miles an hour. I don't know how they know that, but whatever.
The average fart leaves your ass at 7 miles an hour.
Yeah, the average fart probably used a radar gun on their friend. Who the hell knows? It's a friend of Phil's.
Science.
Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Jeff?
Yeah, in the car, I'm getting like 35 miles per gallon because I have a hybrid car.
Oh, okay.
Oh, great.
Right, good.
There you go.
Good. Okay.
I thought he was going to say in the car he got 35 parts per mile.
Okay.
Well, actually,
white gas is additive free, and it's supposedly a lot more powerful than regular gas. And they used to use that in cars and boats and things like
Why
that.
they gotta call it white gas then? More powerful, racist.
Well, as opposed to Negro
it's racist.
gas.
It's racist. It's
Yeah.
privileged.
No, it was no additives.
Yeah, no additives.
Yeah. But
So, Alex?
yes.
So I was just going to say, I used to work for Chevron, and if you want to scream at people, it's really the retailers who are really raking it in, because Chevron only owns about 300 stations out of 10,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So as far as Chevron, anyways, the bulk of it is going to the retailers. If you want to know how much the oil company's making, look at the price per barrel, and yeah, they're making a fucking fortune right now.
Yeah.
Hey, is Pectron really worth it, or are we getting screwed as consumers?
Techron?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a luxury.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody I ever worked with always told me, just get your gas at Arco.
Yeah. I told you, McLaren, I go to Moe's. It's called Moe's over here.
Moe's.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I used to use Shell all the time.
That's the one with the little yellow thing, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shell's
That-
good.
I use
Is
all
that
of
because there was a Shell station at Fillmore and Lombard?
That was one of the reasons why, but also because there was one in Sausalito.
Yeah, with the car wash.
Yeah, and it was always the cheapest price in gas in the whole county.
And it had a car wash.
It had a car wash, but it was also the cheapest gas in the county. I don't know how they did it, but always you could go anywhere else in the county, and then you could pull up to this Shell station and be just gasped at how cheap the gas was.
In order to get out of that Shell station, you had to have your car washed, and the car wash was $25.
No, it wasn't, and you didn't have to.
Phil still clips coupons every week to get his car washed.
And actually, I pay $50 a month for unlimited car washes.
You know what I wanted to do once is I wanted to go through a car wash, just walk through it
Yeah.
while it's going. You know,
Take a shower.
They wouldn't let me. They wouldn't. Let me.
No.
And then if I had to convert a T-top, I wanted to take the T-top off and clean the inside too.
You ruined the car.
If you go through Oregon, they'll come out and fill up the tank for you.
Do they really?
Yeah.
They do that
Oh,
in
they
New
have
Jersey,
to, don't
too.
they? There's a
They
law
have
up
to.
there. There's a law in Oregon.
And
The
it's
gas
and
stations.
I did it when I moved here. I drove through there, and it was really awkward.
Why?
I didn't quite know what to do with myself.
Matt, do you tip the people that fill your car?
No, but it was awkward. I didn't really know what to say.
Well, I remember they used to
Did
come
they do
out.
the windshield and put the air in and check the oil?
No, it's not full
but they don't do
service.
it. They
just
don't do any of
wash
that.
the
They
gas.
just fill your tank.
It's not full service.
Yeah, but it is pretty nice. They just send your car out, and if it's cold, you don't have to get out. But
I had a buddy that had a job in a gas station on the Taconic State Parkway. That's goes from New York to like Yorktown, and during the winter, I'd hang out and I'd help, and you'd wash the windshield and do all of that stuff, check the oil. I was just helping.
Yeah,
my
but
buddy.
you remember they used to wear snappy outfits too. They used
Not
to have those
physically.
little bow ties that were like rubbery bow ties. You remember those things?
Yeah.
Little hats. The little hats.
And the hats,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
the
but
little
what-
hat.
And
company-
wait a minute, I was mentioning this. You'll hear it on Friday because I was talking to Bubs about it. There was a time when I remember where you pull into a gas station and you were attacked
by four people.
by 4 people, one of which was filling your tires, putting water, checking the water, checking the oil. Another one was pumping the gas, and another one was washing your windshield, all at the same
Just
time.
taking your wallet.
The
You do
good
that
old
now.
days.
They're all homeless people.
Right now it's all homeless people with
Oh,
their hands
you know,
up.
in New
They still-
York.
They still wash your windshield as with the newspaper.
Yeah, you remember when you'd be in New York at a red light, and homeless guy would come out with a squeegee and dirty
dirty.
water and
San
get
Francisco?
And a dirty rag, too.
yeah, dirty
Yeah.
rag.
Van Ness, I saw a guy do
Oh,
that.
yeah, they do it in San Francisco still. Yeah.
and now you have to pay for air.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
we were talking about that too, Bubs and
Yeah.
I. Well, God, I'm ruining
Like
Friday's
$1
show.
for the
We were
compressor to run for 30 minutes.
we were talking about how you go into the first time I ever saw that you had to pay for air. I went,
Air
what?
and water.
This
Air
is
and water.
air. It's fucking air and water.
I used to go there to do my
I
bicycle.
bought my own air pump.
At the
I
gas station.
pumped my own air.
There you go.
Really?
Yeah, I have one. I have one hooked up to the cigarette lighter in the car now, so you can just.
Same.
Yeah.
That looks
But-
I'll
phallic,
put you-
Charlie.
What's that?
That looks phallic.
And if I remember correctly, you
Sure
had
you
to,
use
you had to
that
put
on
a
your
quarter
car?
a quarter in, and it would turn on the pump, so you could put in the
Yeah.
air. But you had to rush around fast and do the air
Yeah,
before the.
you have all that
Quarter.
pressure.
It's $1 now.
It's now
Just
$1
for
It's a
now.
dollar?
Whatever.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
At least
Yes,
$1.
It is. You can spend $5 filling your car. That's why I bought that.
The progressives want us on wooden wheels. That's why it's so expensive to put air in your tires.
That had nothing to do with progressives. That has to do
I,
with
re- I
greedy
remember paying
oil companies.
10 cents for gas.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
telling
we were
him. I
talking about
remember
that
9
earlier.
cents. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. That's some nice memories we have being older.
That's right.
It's about the only
Did it
memories
have
we
those
have.
pumps with the glass top?
And
No.
the gasoline flowing
Yeah.
through a little bubble. Yeah.
You're going
There
way
was
back
there was a
then.
bubble, wasn't there? There was a thing
Yeah.
that
Back in the
spun
50s, yeah.
around with a little bead in it or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gasoline that was moving through it would spin this little thing.
Yeah.
And then if
That's-
you go back there, when I was growing up, there was still some of the older pumps, which were these almost like a bell jar,
Yeah, yeah.
and you filled it with gas up to like 10 gallons or something, and then you would pump it.
Huh.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. In other words, it's
Yeah,
like
I
a bell
remember
jar, and you
that.
pump. You'd say how many gallons you wanted, and you'd put the gas in this thing up to that point, and then you'd pump it into your car.
In Sausalito, there was an abandoned Mohawk gas station.
Mohawk, man, that
Back
brings
in
back memories.
1975 or 4, I took a couple of photos of the pump, the inside of the pump, it was artsy fartsy, and the decal. I'm going to grab it. It's so neat. I haven't-
Mohawk
I
was
gotta
the
wait.
Indian with the mohawk on
Yeah.
him, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which today they couldn't have Mohawk gas
No.
stations because it'd be
Oh,
considered
no.
improper to have Mohawk gas stations.
Come on, isn't this ridiculous? What's wrong?
It is ridiculous.
I mean, they have no sense of humor anymore.
Well, the thing that
How
bothered
can-
me, I'll tell you what bothered me, is when they started making all these baseball teams change their names. Now, I don't mind if you want them to change the mascot because maybe it was like a hook-nosed Indian, cartoonish Indian. But I mean, there's something very noble about Indians, and why not name your team after Indians?
There's nothing wrong with it. Nobody's doing it in a malicious way.
That
Just brave is not a derogatory term.
Exactly.
right?
Oh, gasoline. And this was in Sausalito.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute, that wasn't the Mohawk gasoline Indian, though. I'm sorry.
This was the decal that was on the pump. I took a picture of it.
Well, then it must have been falling apart or something, because that wasn't.
Let me show you the pump. You want to talk about falling apart?
This is exciting.
Okay, he's got to walk down the road to get it.
That's across from his
There
apartment
he is
building.
off in the distance.
No, that's where he keeps his clothes.
He's got the little room. He's got it now. That's probably his only room.
Here we go. More pictures.
This is the inside of the Mohawk
Pretty
pump.
good.
I
What
can't
year is
see it.
Yeah,
I got to put on glasses.
4 or
I
5.
like looking at old pictures.
Wait a minute, what? That's the inside of the pump. Oh, that's the inside of the pump, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, but the Indian that was on Mohawk was just kind of a nice silhouette of an Indian, if I
Oh,
remember
that
correctly.
was a picture of the decal that was on this pump.
Huh. Well, I that's not the Mohawk
And you
I
actually
remember.
framed that. Wow, that ought to be worth something.
It's my shot. I thought it was nice.
Any other
Is
any other
this
brands of
shot
gasoline?
Alma Way or Alpine behind you there?
Any other brands of gas that you can remember?
Phillips 66.
Yes.
Okay.
How about, ready for this? Richfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It became Arco.
What country is that from?
Huh?
Atlantic Richfield.
Oh.
What was the one that had the dinosaur?
Sinclair.
Sinclair.
Yeah.
There. Yes.
I just remember that.
And
Well,
Mexico
Atlantic
had the
Richfield
Tiger.
became Arco.
Well, Tiger. What you had the Tiger.
Mexico Tiger.
What? The Texas? No, wasn't
Yes.
Texaco.
Yeah, Texaco Tiger.
was
Yeah.
Texaco.
Was it Texaco Tiger? I thought the Tiger
Yeah.
was. Well, you had Exxon, but you also had Esso.
Yeah.
Different company.
Esso, ESSO, which actually meant Standard Oil.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Exxon was something else before it was Exxon, if I remember correctly. But we had all these different gasolines. We don't have them anymore, you know. Not like we used to,
Yeah.
you know. So, what have you? Anyway,
It's true.
well, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. So it's really, you know, I mean, but here's the thing. The prices are going to go up on gas. It's going to cost you money. Do you mind paying for it, knowing that what we're doing is sanctioning the Russians for what they're doing in Ukraine?
No, I don't mind.
Now,
it,
when
but
I
you know
asked
what?
Bubs this, he said no.
Well, you know how it's affecting the average guy that has to go to work and lives on a tight budget. You know, most people in this country are just one paycheck away
That's
from
right.
homelessness. And they could, if they had a repair for $400, they couldn't afford it.
Well, wait a minute. How about me? I have to pay out $75,000 tomorrow.
Well, that means you got your lease.
Yeah, yeah.
You better live long enough to enjoy it.
Does that include 5 years of rent-free time?
It wasn't rent free.
It wasn't rent free. We paid 110. We paid 110,000 in lawyers' fees,
Yeah.
and then 75,000 to buy this guy off. So basically, we figured it's something like $1,800 a month rent over the, yeah.
Wow.
So you know, that's what it comes to. And now we're paying under our new lease. Of course, I don't know how we're going to make this. $500 a month.
Wow.
They actually gave you the lease for that?
We just the according to our lawyer, he's got it. You know, so
Signed?
signed supposedly. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Well, that's for now because it's going into appeal, and if it goes into appeal and then they win, we have to pay the difference between the price that they settle at. You know.
Yeah.
You know, at which point we'll have to haul over, you know, probably 50 grand worth of money to pay for the difference.
You'll end up moving.
No, what happens is Marjorie has this apartment she owns. And if worse comes to worse, we sell that and we have enough money to live on that for the rest of our lives. You know,
Yeah.
so. And I still got a lot of money too, so, you know. But it's just got me it's got me depressed. Okay. So.
Yeah. Well, you fought long and hard for it, and it's just,
yeah, but I mean, wasn't. I don't know if it was worth the fight. You know. Well, if we had just gotten out of here, gotten into another apartment, we would have been fine. But then again, we would have paid a lot more. Yeah. And here, at the worst, if we pay top price in this deal, it'll come to $22.25 a month for this apartment. That's not a lot of money.
I thought other apartments in your building were like $7, $8,
Some,
$10,000.
there are a couple of they're $7,000, $8,000. Yeah, wow. Yeah, and they're not as big as this one. You know, so.
Well, you know what they're doing to a lot of those New York apartments to get away from the rent control, and you don't have rent control. You have what's it called?
Stabilization.
Mm-hmm. They take that big apartment and they chop it into 2 apartments, and then they can get current rents. So,
yeah, I mean, they have ways of doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
The landlords here tried that, and that's why they got thumped really hard with a $500 a month rent in the end, because they had tried some things to try and jack the price up. You know, so
yeah. Well, you've got 2,500 square feet, so you make 2 1,250 square foot apartments. Maybe your
they did that to a couple of them, and they decided not to do that because they figured maybe the apartments were worth a lot more as larger apartments. But we have a foyer, and what they would do is they would turn the foyer into 2 entrances. 2 entrances to 2 separate apartments. Yeah,
right. Yeah. And then they'd have.
Well, I read that rentals in New York now are averaging something like $3,500, $4,000 a month.
That's for a 1-bedroom, right?
That's for for I think a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
But not it's not cheap. You know.
It's like around here too.
Huh?
Around here is really expensive too.
Yeah, but I mean it's jumped up here. So.
My uncle had a place on is it Mulberry, down in the Washington, what do they call that area? The Bowery.
Mm-hmm.
And he had it ever since he was in college, and he was paying $600 a month, and he had to walk 6 flights up to his apartment, no elevator.
Oh boy!
And he finally gave it up and moved to Oneonta.
Well, you see, I mean, there's still apartments in this building that are rent controlled. There's a difference between rent controlled and rent stabilized. And the rent controlled apartments, some of the people there are still paying like only $900 a month rent.
Yeah.
And with a rent controlled apartment, you can literally will the apartment to a relative.
Yeah.
So if you die, it still goes to somebody else in the family.
Right. On that TV show Friends, didn't the apartment in the TV show get, it was the girl's grandmother?
Do you know something? I've never seen a whole episode of Friends.
Really?
So I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh. Well, she had a pretty cool apartment, and it wasn't as nice as yours.
Jack Bishop is showing up here, ladies and gentlemen.
Where?
I don't know.
Well, he heard rent control, and he
it says joining. I don't know where he is, but so
those
anyway.
apartments you referenced, Alex, those for $3,000 whatever, does that include indoor laundry?
An indoor, you mean laundry?
Yeah, there's
no laundry in this.
You put a line out your window. And,
listen.
You use things.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into how this apartment house is run, but we don't have any laundry room.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Wow, for that amount of money and you don't get laundry?
No, but we do have our own laundry.
Yeah.
We have washer and dryer.
Hey there. Hi there.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Heard you guys talking about gas prices.
Those apartments you referenced, Alex, those.
What?
Jack, you got your
oh yeah,
audio
sure.
on.
Yeah.
Indoor, I mean,
let me get out of that.
There's no laundry. There we go. What were you saying, Matt? Quickly.
No, that was just my voice echoing back. It wasn't me.
Oh. Yes, Jack.
I just woke up. Where am I? Heard you guys talking about gas prices.
Yeah.
You know, we still pay less than most of the rest of the Western world for gasoline.
Yeah.
In Texas.
No,
as a country, U.S.
Oh, in the U.S., yeah. I mean, you go to Europe and you just gasp at how much the price is for gas.
By the liter.
But also, the cars over there get better mileage.
They're diesel.
Yes.
Well, they're not diesel.
they're not diesel.
They're not diesel.
No,
But they are created to get better gas.
They are smaller, more
Chevy and
efficient.
all those countries.
I
have all
a
the
friend of mine lives in Sydney, Australia, and they're paying by the liter, but it's about $10 a gallon.
That's what it is in Canada too. Mike Chisholm was saying that on Monday.
Yeah. So.
You know, we've just been lucky because, you know, we've had tremendous oil reserves and tremendous oil production for all of our lives. And we've been, to use an expression I like, fuelish in this country for all of our lives. Everybody on this panel has had that advantage.
Yeah, if you have a
Now
car.
the advantage is gone.
I'm the only one here, and Tony doesn't have a car either.
Yeah.
He's got a coffee maker though.
Yeah.
Well, we're New Yorkers. We
Now,
don't need
Jack-
cars. If we need
Jack-
one, we rob them.
Exactly.
Jack, how cheap do you remember gas when you were a kid? What was the cheapest you remember?
Well, I wasn't a kid. I was in my 20s and I moved to Houston and gas was at 17 cents a gallon. When I left San Francisco, gas was at about 30 to 35 cents a gallon.
I remember when it got to 50 cents, and I said, I'm not paying 50 cents a gallon.
It got
You
to
know,
50
there are young
in
people
my
watch.
20s.
If there are young people watching this show, they're sitting there going, "Listen to these old farts talking about 19 cents a gallon." I mean,
But hey, you know, every old fart talks about things back when he was in the day.
yeah, but when I say 19 cents a gallon, when I saw the 19 cents a gallon, and then later on during the gas wars, the 9 cents a gallon, I was 10 years old. That was 72 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And what were salaries 72 years ago?
When
You
a
know,
guy made $6-7 grand a year, he was living large.
No, if a guy made $2,000-3,000 a year back then, he was living large.
Yeah, if you want to talk about prices going up, check out what's going on at the grocery store.
Do you know that at not last year, but I think it was 2 years ago, the price of milk per gallon was higher than the price of gasoline.
We used to go to a milk machine when I was a kid, and it was a quarter for a quart of milk. It was a
Yeah,
machine.
but that was that New York milk.
Huh?
That was that New York milk.
It was
a
pumped
quarter.
out of the river.
Yeah.
There was a gas station at the end of the road, about 3 miles from our house.
Yeah, and Hershey bars were a nickel. Coke was a nickel.
And they were big.
A phone call was a nickel, but you didn't have.
And for a
your
penny,
computer,
for
and
a
you didn't have
penny,
your cell phone.
for 3 cents,
a
you used
gumball for
for
a
3
penny.
cents you used to get the newspaper,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and for 1 penny, I used to get
Got
a
a stamp.
whole strip of candy dots on a page.
Yeah.
You remember those? And then you
Oh,
would
I
peel
still
them
do. I
off, and
love
you would
those.
eat them, and then you would get a nice big piece of paper mache in your stomach.
Hey, Charlie, that's diabetes on a strip.
Yeah, that's probably where it came from.
Yeah.
Back in the box had 2 tacos for 99 cents since I've been a kid, and it's still that price. So that's the best bargain.
Matt's got his hand up.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute,
we
wait,
don't
Matt,
have-
Matt.
we don't
Hold on a
have-
second, Matt.
Just one thing I was going to say, average income in 1945 was $1,223.
Wow.
$1,223.
So it's all relative.
What, a month?
No, a
No,
year.
a year.
A year.
1,200?
Yeah, that would be a year, $100 and something bucks a year. But you remember an apartment was $750 a month.
Yeah, a ritzy apartment was $20.
Well, my father, as long as I was growing up, I remember him making about $5,000 a year. You know.
He's rich.
Yeah, he was rich.
Yeah.
Housing prices are expensive too in this country.
We used to pay for our apartment on Telegraph Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Ready for this? $35 a month.
It's too bad you didn't keep it.
The house that I grew up in.
Here we go. This is we haven't got a young person left listening to this program.
Listen, no young people.
Did it have windows and doors?
No young people listen to Gabby.
Well, you had to step outside the cave to smoke.
And cigarettes were 50 cents a pack.
Oh man!
And you put the pterodactyl's needle on your stone record to hear the Rolling Stones, because they were around
They were actual Rolling Stones.
Yes. Yeah. But the house that I grew up in, my folks bought for $12,000, and the
ours in Marin County was $9,500.
Yeah.
So
And your dad thought he overpaid.
I remember taking the house note to some savings and loan when I was in high school, and the house note was $85 a month. I can't buy toilet paper for $85.
Well, our house, which was $9,500, I think a few years later, after my mother sold it and then somebody else sold it, it was sold for $400,000.
I'll look on Zillow. What was the address?
179 Scenic Avenue.
Let me get to Zillow. Zillow Real Estate.
179 Scenic Avenue.
So
I gotta go. I wish I could stick around and hear this. I'd love to hear what the house I think of as home is worth.
Stan and Selmo.
Mm-hmm.
all right, see you later, Jack.
Yep.
So I bought my house. I was
Wait, hold on a second. What? You found it?
Yeah.
What?
3-bedroom, 2 baths, 1,900 square feet, 584,000.
Keep right here.
1,584,000. But it was in San Anselmo. If he was in Ross, it would be 10 million.
Wait, $1 million, $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Almost
and
1.6.
and we paid $9,500 for that house.
Right. It says that the rent estimate is $6,000 a month.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm looking at the pictures, Alex. It's a very nice house.
It has stairs going up the.
Bill
It's
hasn't
beautiful.
got his computer to load pictures yet.
Living room.
What?
There's the living room.
So when I was 19,
Hey,
I
put
bought
the living
house.
room picture up to the screen here.
Okay.
Let me see it. Let
All
me
right,
see it
if I
here.
can make it
Let me
bigger.
see if it looks the same as it looked when I was a kid. Oh, we're
Go
running
ahead,
out
Alan.
of time here.
Huh?
Let me see
Go
here.
ahead, Alan.
Yeah, well, Phil cuts me off.
Yep,
every
that's
time.
it. That's it.
Donald
That
Trump's a jerk.
big bay window. We put that in.
Yeah.
You ready for
Hurry
that?
up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I bought when I was 19. I bought my house for $70,000. I just got the appraisal on it the other day because I'm refinancing it, 1.8 million. And this is when I was a kid, 1.8 million was an upscale neighborhood.
It's in Fremont, so you don't have indoor plumbing, do you?
No.
Anyway, hey, listen. Hey, we got
It's okay.
we got the theme playing, and I'm tired. I want to go to sleep.
Hey, you see my house? It's right behind me.
Yeah, that's $1 million right there for one of those.
Let's hear it for
That's about all
Phil
we
tonight
know.
for sticking around.
Hey,
Bill.
and Tony, if you come out here, that's that you can pick wherever you want to stay in that.
Yeah, the orange one.
You can take the red dump.
blue one. It's nice.
Charlie Wallace, thank you for joining us this evening. Brian, always wonderful to have you here.
That's all from Phil, drinking all night.
Yeah, right. And
don't drive.
Of course, Alan, thank you. Thanks to Tony. Always nice having you drop by. As do we like having Matt? Yes, we do like having Matt join us.
Thank you.
And of course, Jeff, who is down in Georgia. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye. I'll give a big wave goodbye at you as well. Let me put myself in the picture waving. And there they go, folks. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Let me just... boy, my nose is itching tonight. I'm falling apart. Anyway, that's it. Jack Bishop is next with The Intersection. He will follow us immediately right after we sign off here. We'll be back again tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern Time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, please get vaccinated, okay? Wear a mask. Do all the right things. Good night, everybody.